set in quite early this year. Lot of people were into this water tank business. They rushed into this village. Now they're drilling lot of bore wells which are unauthorized, which has not been permitted, not been approved by anyone. To drill any bore well apart from the agriculture, you need to have a permission from the Deputy Commissioner Urban, who is the approving authority for the this area. And these people are drilling the borewells in the grab of saying that agriculture purpose, and later on they're converting it into the commercial activity. You might have seen each borewell.
Absolutely, which means it's going to companies and apartments.
Yes, if you see these, most of these tankers are going to either to Electronic City or Bommasandra and or to Veerasandra industrial areas.
Yeah.
Now the present requirement, if you see in the overall area, is more than around 1,000 plus tankers. This village itself, you can see around 300 plus tankers are going, filling the water and going. If you see a normal tanker may be carrying around 10,000 liters.
If you can tell me, you had mentioned earlier that if this continues, it will become like Belandur and Vartur Lake. Why would you say that?
See, if you see the whole history of what has happened in Belandur and Vartur, it is the tanker mafia which has started from there. Because adjoining areas has got an industrial requirement as well as a residential requirement. They need water because the groundwater supplied by the BWSSB is not sufficient enough to satisfy the requirement. And now, ideally, they got this place called Muthanallur Lake because we don't have much of borewells over here. And whatever borewells we have got, these borewells are basically meant for the agriculture purpose.
Let's get in further inputs. We have with us our correspondent Amita Balachandra with us. We also have other voices, a resident activist Major Santosh with us, as well as N.R. Suresh. He's a member of the NBF, which is the Namma Bengaluru Foundation. Stay with us, please, gentlemen. First across to our correspondent Amita there, getting us all these voices on how residents fear. Amita, this of course coming in on a very worrisome note because they've seen how the other two lakes, Belandur and Vartur, have deteriorated, completely become dead water bodies. And they fear that this lake, which is one healthy, functioning lake, may end up the same way.
Well, absolutely, and it's about 20 kilometers away from the heart of the city, this Muthanallur Lake in Anikal Taluk. In fact, when we visited there, we saw at least about 20 to 30 tankers. We saw borewells around the periphery of the lake. Clearly, these water tankers drawing in water from these borewells, which residents allege have been illegally put up. In fact, the Panchayat officer who we spoke to also agreed to the fact that the borewells shouldn't have been there in the first place, but they said that it's not in their jurisdiction, that it's in the revenue officer's jurisdiction. In fact, yesterday there was a meeting that was held along with these water tanker suppliers, and we understand now a letter has also been written to the electricity supply board to ensure that there is no electricity given to people who are running these borewells, because residents allege that it's being done for commercial business purposes. In fact, as we speak, because of the onset of summer, we've seen how in the last couple of days, there's absolute shortage of water here in Bengaluru, in several areas around this particular area. Belandur, Sarjapur, etc. are all grappling with water shortage.
And it is leading to water shortage there as well. Amita, please stay with us. Getting in more voices. Major Santosh, who's resident activist here with us. Appreciate you being with us. You say that this is part of a tanker mafia, but this is theft, water theft in broad daylight. Which authorities, in your view, are involved in this then?
See, if you see the situation, what is prevailing over there, it is quite alarming and quite disturbing. See, Muthanallur Lake happens to be one of the largest lake in our Bangalore city, which is measuring around 610 acres, which is active and which is home for a lot of flora fauna. And a lot of birds and a lot of agriculture happens in and around at Muthanallur Lake. And see, now what is happening, previously there used to be some 1 or 2 tanks used to go and they used to fetch water for their own usage. In last 15 days, there is around 13 borewells which has been dug next to the, what we said, lake bed. And it happens to be a buffer zone too. And these people digging these borewells in the grab of saying that they are going to use it for agriculture. Now, on the ground, what is happening? These borewells has been further leased into tanker mafias to draw water and supply to the industrial or domestic requirement in and around the area. If you see Electronic City and your Bommasandra, Jigni industrial area, Veerasandra industrial area, this side your Bellandur is going up to Whitefield. These tanker mafias are supplying water from here. Now, the biggest concern over here, these people...
Okay, so that has been your observation. Absolutely. Mr. Suresh, in your view, the Panchayat has made it very clear that this is not in their jurisdiction. So whom do the residents go to then?
Which unfortunately, this transparency from the various agencies, from Gram Panchayat to the central government, is actually defeating the purpose. We, Nama Bengaluru Foundation, will appreciate the efforts put up by our major. Once a soldier is always a soldier. He is now fighting for our civic rights also and water. We appreciate and congratulate him, and Nama Bengaluru Foundation will support them in whatever way to take up this issue, either it is legal or otherwise, or going to the minister or the officials. Here, as I said, it is lawlessness. Nobody is accountable.
No, but Mr. Suresh, how do you say that this could be legal?
No, this commodity which belongs to everybody. Not one person can monopolize.
That's right.
And use it for commercial purpose. Definitely not. Unfortunately, most of these officials are also hand in glove with this mafia, like any other mafia. They don't support citizens in Bangalore.
That's right. No, so we are trying to understand who are these officials, from which department are they coming from? Let's ask that to Major Santosh. Sir, in your understanding, these borewells have been dug. Where is the paperwork coming from? Where are the permissions, licenses coming from here? Which authority do you think is concerned if the Panchayat say that it's not in their jurisdiction?
Now I'll tell you, ma'am, what actually the situation is as far as the legal condition is concerned. There is an act called as Karnataka Groundwater Regulation Control Development Management Act of 2011. Act is there. As per that act, if you want to dig any borewell in Karnataka, you need to take a permission from the Deputy Commissioner concerned. Now, for our case, it is a Deputy Commissioner, Bangalore Urban, who is supposed to approving for that. Normally, they approve only for the purpose of agriculture. For the industrial, you need to be in an industrial zone. In this place, this whole lake is in the agriculture belt. This is what we call it as a green belt. And the whole activity where it has happened, it is called as lake belt, and second thing is a buffer zone. Now, the concerned authority is the revenue department. Now, there is something called as a Gram Tana, there is something called as a revenue land. Anything which is falling inside the boundary of village is called as Gram Tana. In that Gram Tana, the Panchayat is responsible for that. Anything falls out of this Gram Tana, then it comes under the revenue department, the local revenue inspector, the Tehsildar and the Deputy Commissioner of concerned district is responsible for that. In this case...
All right. So if this land is